Hello and welcome to the Candidates Forum. I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV.
And I'm Jacqueline Rixmeyer with the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. We are excited once again to partner with Medina TV to bring you the 2023 Candidates Forum. All candidates in contested races were invited to participate this year.
Yes, and the views of those candidates are not necessarily those of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce or Medina TV.
Thank you for tuning in to watch our 2023 Candidates Forum. We appreciate your willingness to be informed about the upcoming election.
Joining us now in studio is incumbent judge for the Medina Municipal Court, Gary Werner. Gary, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Why don't you first just take a few minutes and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm Gary Werner. I've been at the Medina Municipal Court now for 6 years. Mm-hmm. It's my first term, and they're 6-year terms, and up for re-election this fall. How did I get there? I'll give you the short whole bio. Here's the short whole bio. I was born in Cleveland. I was the fifth of 6 children, the only one that went to college. I started college right out of Brunswick High School, where I graduated in 1979. Didn't work out so well first time around. Left college, cooked in restaurants, played in bands, got a job opportunity playing in a band in a resort club in Florida. Went down there, met my wife, who was one of the singers in the band. She convinced me to go back to school. We both ended up moving out to California. We helped each other finish school. I got my undergraduate degree at UCLA in economics. I did law school at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. We then got married, had a few children, couldn't afford to live in Los Angeles, so we did what a lot of people do nowadays, only we did it 25 years ago, and we moved back here and settled in Medina County and got involved in some local politics. I was on city council in Brunswick. I was the mayor in Brunswick for a term, and my long-range goal really was always to end up being a judge. I took a shot at it in 2013. It didn't work. Took another shot in 17, and that one did, and that's how I got here.
Mm-hmm. So what was the driving force that made you decide that you wanted to run for another term?
One, I love the job. Mm-hmm. I've actually told Judge Kimbler to her face that losing to her was maybe the best thing that ever happened to me, because I would not have thought to have run for the municipal court job first. Mm-hmm. But since I've been there, I really do enjoy the work. I love the people that I work with there. I love the work that we're doing. I've had a chance to get a certified veterans court up and running there during my first term, which I'm very excited about. But mainly it's about just connecting with people at this part of their life. This is the folks that we deal with. They're all misdemeanor crimes and small civil actions. But on the criminal side, which is the docket I'm primarily responsible for, I get a chance to intervene in these people's lives before their trajectory takes them too far off course. Mm-hmm. And for some of them, they respond well, and we're able to help them course correct. And others, they go on to common pleas and do worse things. But I just, the whole role that it serves here in the community, the work involves things that appeals to me. I've always been a bit of a geek, like reading and writing, and there's a lot of reading and a lot of writing involved. So it just appeals to me.
Yeah. Now, for those that haven't, I guess, how should I phrase this, have not had the benefit of being in front of you, they may not know exactly the role of a municipal court judge. So why don't you just kind of explain for them, those that have had the benefit of not being in your courtroom, just kind of fill them in on what the role of a municipal court judge is.
Okay, well, the court system in Ohio is generally 3 levels. There's the Ohio Supreme Court, which is the court of last resort. Mm-hmm. There's the appellate level. Those are the appellate districts. And then there's the trial level. And the trial level breaks down into common pleas courts and municipal and county courts. Common pleas courts handle felony charges and the sort of no upside civil damages cases where the damages can be, very large. The municipal court handles the misdemeanor cases, misdemeanor crimes, everything from domestic violence and assault, telecommunications harassment, OVI, down to all the minor misdemeanor traffic offenses, and civil claims that are under $50,000. So those are the kinds of cases that we hear at the courthouse.
So what do you think is the best part of the job for you?
The best part of the job for me is, I think, believe it or not, it's figuring out the answer to the legal questions. There's not a day that goes by when I don't encounter my learning curve. I'm constantly having to inform myself on new issues and new problems that arise in the different cases, and I really enjoy that because I've worked at 4 different firms since I was first admitted to practice in California, with a lot of really fine lawyers, and I picked up some good habits along the way. And one of them is turning over the stones, looking for what there is to see. And I enjoy doing all of that research, and then framing judgment entries to give people an idea what the court has decided a particular issue. But I really do enjoy that part of it.
And like as you mentioned earlier, you're finishing up your first term, seeking a second term. What would you like to improve on in that second term?
Well, the second term is going to be, if all goes well and the creek don't rise, as they say, we will be moving over to the square into the what was the 1969 building for the Common Pleas Court. All of those Common Pleas Courts have now occupied the new space. And the Domestic Relations Court has now moved from the 69 building into the 1840 building, which has been refurbished. So we have worked out a deal between the city and the county to occupy that 69 building. Probably a year or 2 from now, once they get through the plans and all the processes and get it rebuilt for our uses. Very excited to get us over there for a lot of really great reasons, primary among them making the courthouse safer for employees and for the public.
And what do you think about that, the collaboration that would bring in the county along with the city, with the municipal court? What do you think about the collaboration?
Well, here, lest I fool people into thinking I deserve more credit than I'm getting, this has been an issue that's been discussed for 20 years. It was going on for a decade or 2 before I showed up. And there were several attempts during those 20 years to coordinate a program between the county and the city to share some space and build a unified courthouse. Because it just makes sense to have all of these judicial services in one area. For the sheriffs who transport prisoners from the jail, there will be a single sally port over there through which all of those prisoners will be transported, one secure system of elevators to get them into the courtrooms. There, for our purposes, there will also now be separation between the court personnel and the public, which we do not have presently. We have one tiny little 4-foot hallway that everybody uses to get to and fro in the courthouse. And then it's just a matter of, just the orderliness of having more space to operate in. We'll have a 3rd hearing room so we can get more workload processed. There's so many upsides to getting us over there.
Sure. Now, you probably just mentioned a lot of those in the answers in this next question I'm going to ask, but what do you think are the pros and cons of this move to move over to the courthouse?
If you can think of a con, I'm happy to go over it with you, honestly. The economies of consolidating all of these operations in one space, probation departments sharing the same screening services, which are over there at the courthouse. Many of the folks who come through our courthouse are also either in cases over in the Common Pleas Court or on probation in the Common Pleas Court. This puts all of those officers, probation departments in the same spot. The lawyers who have to bounce back and forth for hearings and common pleas in our building, now they'll just be across the hallway. It's safer for everybody. Like I said, if you have a con, I'm willing to review it with you, but I can't think of one, honestly. Maybe traffic. Maybe traffic. Because traffic on the square is getting pretty thick as it is. But other than that, I'm hoping they'll manage all that responsibly.
So with this move, you mentioned a lot of the great things. What are some possible new opportunities that might be available for the court to take advantage of with this move?
Well, we have discussed this in the past, and both with common pleas judges and with folks from the Supreme Court who oversee the Veterans Court operation. And in some counties where there are veterans courts, there are program sharing agreements between judges, so that if, for example, there were a defendant in a common pleas courthouse or courtroom who is a veteran and would otherwise qualify for the Veterans Court program, they could be admitted into that program and supervised by our probation department while they're going through the program. And vice versa, if we had folks that were particularly qualified for one of the certified drug programs at the common pleas, we could share those folks with them. So those are some of the opportunities that might open up if we get into a more consolidated space.
So how do you see the courts? A lot of times, I think a lot of people just think of it as being a reactive place where a crime has been committed and you're reacting to that and imposing a sentence. How do you feel the municipal court can be a little more proactive to serve the residents in the community?
Well, here, Yeah, that's part of the picture. I mean, we are reactive in the sense that we don't go out and ask people to commit crimes or encourage them to find ways to get to the courthouse. When folks say to me, hey, I have to come see you at work, I say, yeah, come voluntarily.
Yeah.
You know, what we do in a proactive sense takes place primarily through our supervision services, right? So if somebody comes into the courthouse on the criminal side and they get on probation, we get a chance to monitor them in the ways that they operate in the world, the people they're hanging around with, the things they're engaged in with their free time, the accountability that they have to the court just for their time and where they're working, where they're residing, all of those things. The goal is always to help these people not come back. In fact, I always tell the defendants at sentencing, if you cooperate with the probation department, your chance of coming back goes down, because that's their job, is to help you not come back, make better choices, surround yourself with a more supportive crowd, and go live your life. Go build something beautiful.
And you just kind of answered my next question a little bit, but I'll give you a chance if you want to expand on it a little bit. No, that's great. How do you help people that are in the system to basically not get lost in the system, be repeat offenders? How do you see a way to help them, and how can your court help people to go beyond that so they don't keep coming back?
Well, when I was mayor in Brunswick, I ran the mayor's court there as well. And we didn't really have any supervisory services or personnel. We had very limited resources for dealing with folks who had been sentenced. So if they came to mayor's court and they were convicted, it was generally just fines, sentences, license suspensions, that type of thing. At the Medina Municipal Court, of course, we have a whole probation department. And the way we help these people is by interacting with them. In fact, depending on the case, for example, some defendants will come in, and depending on their conviction history, the incentive will be, okay, you're not going to jail today, but we'll give you 30 days of jail time. We'll come back in 6 months, and if you just stay out of trouble, you won't have to do any jail time. So now there's an incentive for them to avoid a harsher sanction and to keep their life well ordered. And we're basically giving them the keys, encouraging them. Does it work for everybody? No. Does it work for some people? Yes. Sometimes it's just a lighter kind of supervision. Others, it's got to be intensive weekly screening for drug and alcohol use or monitors of some kind. So we have a lot of tools to incentivize people to simply make different choices that keep them out of trouble.
We're speaking with Judge Gary Werner, the incumbent for Medina Municipal Court judge, seeking re-election this November. And thank you for joining us today. You did a great job answering all my questions, but I want to give you an opportunity in case there's something I missed or maybe something I didn't touch on that you can address directly with our viewers.
Very good. All right. One final point I would like to make is in December of 2021, the Supreme Court of Ohio certified a Veterans Treatment Court in our Medina Municipal Court. It's the first and only certified Veterans Treatment Court in Medina County. Last Tuesday, the 19th, we graduated 5 participants from that program. It's a year-long program. It's in 4 phases. It has minimum mandatory abstinence days. They have to pass screens for drug and alcohol checks. There are counseling elements to it. There are a mentor squad that is some former veterans who agree to volunteer and assist these veterans in the program with moral support to get them through the program. And the point of the program is to reduce recidivism among the graduates. And that program is now going to be 2 years old this December. We've graduated probably nearly a dozen veterans from the program, and it's working beautifully. I think statistically, we're probably going to end up north of 85 to 90% folks who do not come back and are not re-involved in the court system once they get through this program. So that's something I'm really proud of, and I'm proud of all the folks that participate in helping us operate that. But every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, actually every other Tuesday, 2 o'clock, open to the public. If you want to come and watch one of those veterans dockets, you're welcome to.
Great, and that's the incumbent, Gary Werner, candidate for Medina Municipal Court judge. And thank you for taking time with us today, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.